Okay, I'm pretty pissed right now. You have no idea how pissed I am. You may ask, if you didn't read the tagline, oh, what are you so pissed off about? Well, I'm pissed off about the stuff about Judge Kavanaugh. This entire stuff with Judge Kavanaugh and Dr. Blasey Ford has got to stop. Alright, this is the third time I have tried to make this video. Well, actually, second time I've tried to make this video. I'm recording the audio right now on the way to freaking work right now. So I'm going to get as much as I can get done in a time frame that I have before I hit work. Sexual harassment is not a joke. And so when people in the Democratic Party are throwing things out there that make you think, holy shit, this thing is just an entire fucking meme, it makes you wonder, why is everybody, the people who by default somehow have the moral high ground when it comes to sexual assault, despite the fact that their party is the one that has covered up some of the most egregious examples of sexual assault I have ever seen in my lifetime, and things that happened before my lifetime even, sit on a fucking rape allegation for months before bringing it forward before this guy is supposed to be voted in as the next Supreme Court judge. You sit on it since July 30th, Dianne Feinstein. So you're just sitting there with the thing, you're sitting with it under your ass. You bring it up just before they vote for him, and then you just decline the process. And we know why you're doing it. You're doing it because you're like, oh no, he's gonna overturn Roe v. Wade if he gets on the Supreme Court, or oh no, he's gonna say Trump can do whatever the fuck he wants. No. It's very unlikely he would actually vote against overturning Roe v. Wade in the first place. Top that off, those rulings that he said were not in regard to those things. It was in regard to things that for a personal thing on the president. And so, looking at all this stuff, they don't reveal the accuser's name, just like they did with Anita Hill. Anita Hill, by far, this very situation is reminiscent of Anita Hill, only they were bringing up against a black man with the Anita Hill stuff. Only this time it's against Judge Kavanaugh, a guy who was just sitting on the D.C. Court of Appeals. And, they don't bring up Dr. Ford's name for a while because she wanted to keep it confidential. That raises immediate red flags if you know anything about the Clarence Thomas thing. Clarence Thomas got, he was about to get nominated on the Supreme Court, and then they brought up these anonymous rape allegations by Anita Hill. And then once Anita Hill was shown to be an absolute freaking idiot because the evidence solely pointed against her, even though people believe her to the point where HBO made a fucking movie about her. So I don't hold anything against Blasey Ford. I think she's being just used as a tool, like so many people, if they have something impactful to say, are just being used as a tool by the Democratic Party to stick a one-up on Trump. That's honestly how I feel about this. And it's infuriating to see how painfully obvious that is. But yet when I see so many people on Twitter, so many people like Jen Brown, John Favreau, so many other fucking celebrities say, oh, Mitch McConnell's fucking lying that Dianne Feinstein leaked this out, even though that's exactly what happened. And then there's another scandal coming out in an unrelated note that Maxine Waters' office was doxing people on Wikipedia that were conservatives. Just keep that in mind. And then they're saying that they believe Dr. Ford unequivocally, despite the fact there is no evidence that would actually pin Kavanaugh at any situation that they were at. I do believe, based on her testimony, based on the clips that I've seen, Dr. Ford was assaulted, but not by Kavanaugh. Alright? She may bring up certain things, but he brings up even better things in that regard. He's brought up times and dates and locations that were corroborated by evidence. Hers was not. It was at a party in 1982. Right now, it's unclear whether or not that party actually happened. In high school, the same summer where The Thing, E.T., and Blade Runner were released. while he was in high school. And a lot of people were like taking a lot of the things Kavanaugh said out of context. Like, he said he drank a lot, but he didn't drink to the point where he was passed out drunk. So many people took that as, oh, he's presenting himself as a choir boy, saying he never drank any alcohol at all. And that if he testifies that he drank alcohol, that proves he was lying. Or that if evidence comes out he was drinking alcohol, that proves he was lying, even though he's literally said that he drank fucking alcohol. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious, people? And so, you go further into this. She tells her story. Ford tells her story. Turns out some of the evidence has been contradicted by things that happened. Notably, the people she called as witnesses. Some of the witnesses say they believed it happened to her, but they didn't know anything about Kavanaugh, or they knew about Kavanaugh, but, you couldn't pinpoint him at an exact date with her or anything like that. So you have all these things that contradict in the evidence. And there's a lot of stuff in regards to memory. She's a psychologist or a sociologist or whatever. She knows the intricacies of the human brain, and she uses that in her plea. But the thing is, a lot of people misremember stuff. Okay, this is one of the big talking points, is what is the fidelity of her memory banks? What is going on with this? I honestly believe that she is misremembering this thing. All right, she also pinpointed Mark Judge was there. Mark Judge vehemently denies anything like that ever happened. Should have been subpoenaed, but he did testify to Republicans that said, hey, I wasn't there. I was never joining in on a sexually assaulting type of thing. And based on that testimony, since no one else has actually come forward to say anything, I tend to believe him. So, you go on, and then Michael Avenatti, who is the biggest joke I've ever seen in American public life. This is the guy who was defending Stormy Daniels because she had sex with Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump paid her off, and then in order to get more money, she came out and said, oh, he paid me off because he had sex with me at one time. And starts bragging about how, his dick's small and looks like Yoshi. Well, not Yoshi. It looks like, what's his name from Mario? Toad. Forever scarring me. So you have that. He starts coming out with these hugely absurd claims that, if true, would be really damning, but you can tell based on the surface level of the allegation is completely and utterly ridiculous. They said he ran a gang rape ring, where the witness that was testifying said they were regularly talking about spiking the punch and then fucking unconscious girls, or something along that line. So even though, if you were a little person, if anyone in their right mind would say, oh, they're trying to spike the punch, I'm gonna go fucking tell somebody, or at the very least, I'm not gonna go talking to these people anymore. I'm not gonna go to these parties. I'm not gonna drink the punch if I do go to these parties. I'm not even gonna go to these fucking parties. Why would you go to the same party if you knew the punch was being spiked? God damn it! God. I feel like busting the rhymes without the rhymes. Just want to bust this shit open. So, the whole thing with the gang rape ring, and then apparently 4chan's in on this one too, which would turn Michael Avenatti into the joke even to his own party, because you followed a claim from some guy on 4chan, even though there is an actual lady behind this one. I think 4chan did troll him in some areas. But yeah, this lady says that she saw this stuff happening, she knew this stuff happened, and she thinks she actually did get gang raped, but it wasn't clear it was done by Kavanaugh or Mark Judge or any of those guys. So I'm just sitting here thinking, what the fuck? It's ridiculous that you wouldn't tell somebody in the first place anyway. It's not like you were being hit with it. If you're a witness to something, you witness it, you tell someone about it. Oh, fuck. So, the Republicans actually grow some spines for once. Lindsey Graham gave a really passionate exchange of words, not exchange of words, just a really passionate plea to Republicans and, called out his fellow senators on the Democratic side who were looking to basically do what most of us can see. That these people are trying to ruin Judge Kavanaugh's life because he's a Republican on the court, and they found something that they think they can use. And despite the fact that they didn't take it seriously for months and are only acting like they're taking it seriously, are like, oh, hey, we should get him out of here. And it's only because for political convenience. They want to keep that damn Senate seat open until 2020. You fucking know this. Alright. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, this is kind of what Republicans did in 2016 with Merrick Garland. But Republicans didn't drag up false-ass rape claims against the guy and try to ruin Merrick Garland's life. They did not do that at all. They kept the seat open because they had the votes to keep it open, and it was Obama's last year in office. A lot of Democrats are saying, well, this is an election year. Trump shouldn't be able to appoint anybody in an election year, just like Republicans said. This is a fucking Senate and House year. This is not a presidential election. If it was a presidential election, I'd be like, oh, hey, don't do it. But this is an off-year election. I don't give a shit if he appoints somebody or not. I'd say he'd be wasting that seat if he doesn't appoint anybody. And so, here's this whole thing. So we go a little further. Kamala Harris is a dumbass. She doesn't know how to question anybody for her damn life. And the only way she can actually get away with it is because she's actually a little witty. She's just not smart witty. And Dianne Feinstein is getting into arguments with her own fucking senators, and then it got so bad to the point where they dropped Dr. Ford under the fucking bus. They said her friends were leaking out sensitive information, even though that was clearly Dr. Feinstein's office that was dropping a whole bunch of shit. And so you're just sitting there like, what in the fuck is going on? You guys are trying to find this guy guilty of sexually assaulting a lady and maybe multiple other people. And look at what the fuck you're doing. You can't even run the goddamn investigation right, which is not even really an investigation. And they're like, oh, we need to get the FBI involved on this shit. That's not the FBI's job to be investigating he said, she said remarks. He said, she said remarks from 30 years ago. I think that's rather ridiculous. That the FBI would be stooped to that low for political convenience. But yet they had to get drug into this anyway because Jeff Flake is a spineless moron. Though he was ambushed, so I guess you can kind of say he was kind of roughed up into it. More on that later. So, we go further. And then, before Lindsey Graham gave his speech where he called out his Democratic colleagues for being fucking tards, Kavanaugh got really defensive. And I mean the defensive that I can get when somebody's coming after me with some bullshit. The type of defensive that can drive away friends. But you know he's right. He was saying stuff like, he's talking about his daughter. His daughters and his wife. They're praying for the woman. Because they believe she was raped. Kavanaugh believes she was raped. And another thing, some fucking asshole wrote a political cartoon saying, with one of his daughters, giving a prayer saying, please forgive my daddy who's a drunk rapist. Whoever wrote that should be fired and punched in the face repeatedly. I don't see how that person still has a job. I don't know who did it, but they deserve to not have a job. So, further on, and then he's talking, he was just vehemently defending himself. Okay, you know why he was pissed? I'm so tired of people saying, oh, he can't get pissed off. He's a Supreme Court judge. He's supposed to be noble and silent and swift and calm, unlike Dr. Ford over here. Well, the thing is, if a man or a woman believes that they are innocent, and they know they're fucking innocent in regards to rape, that they did not commit a rape, they did not see a rape, they were not complicit in a rape, I say that when you're dragged in front of the entire fucking country and being forced to sit through hours upon hours upon hours of bullshit questions from one particular party, you deserve the right to go out at them. You deserve the right to be pissed off. Fuck! It's absolutely ridiculous how anyone cannot see that this is a political sham, that this is a hit job on Brett Kavanaugh's life, on whether or not he should serve on the Supreme Court, is baffling to me. This is baffling. There is no evidence against him. There is no really true evidence that can pin him at that particular moment groping a lady in high school. Now, I believe that this lady was assaulted. Like I said, based on what she had said. Based on what she had said in the hearing. My big thing is, I'm still confident that the Democrats forced her into this. Now, she may have thought Kavanaugh did it. But here's the thing is, she didn't reveal it for a while. Now, I can't say that I did particularly blame her, because this is something a lot of rape victims do. They don't reveal it for a while. Now, a lot of people are comparing this to the Roy Moore situation. The big difference with the Roy Moore situation was, it's a big difference. Roy Moore had been known to have been doing this type of stuff that he was doing with underage ladies for years. There was a lot of evidence against him to where you could actually convict him in the court of public opinion. In this situation, you cannot convict Kavanaugh in the court of public opinion. And the thing that doesn't help is the fact that there's a lot of contradicting evidence from Ford, and especially from Dianne Feinstein's legal team. I'm not saying that she isn't coming at this without fear, or that, she isn't being genuine. I do think she was raped, or at the very least groped. But I swear, they did not. The lawyer team saying that she doesn't have to corroborate evidence is asinine. And then when she actually did corroborate evidence, it contradicts a lot of things. And I think a lot of it was just put together. Not the stuff where you knew she could actually tell you what was happening, but the stuff that was happening on the in-betweens. Like, when did this happen, on what date, where in this particular place was it happening. The college was Yale. Well, not Yale. He went to college at Yale. Forgot where he went to high school at. I'll find some articles, leave in the description if you're curious on those things. But honestly, I can't find much evidence against Kavanaugh. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't find any evidence against him. Alright, this is coming from a guy who didn't really think Kavanaugh was, the greatest pick to the Supreme Court. I would have rather been one of those ladies that they had talked about beforehand. But on a man's character, I think Kavanaugh's okay. He's a good guy, based on the things I've seen from his character. And I guarantee you, this is just like what Ben Shapiro said in his podcast Friday, that if I were Brett Kavanaugh, he'd be saying the F-bomb and all that stuff. I would make it a step further than that. I would be saying literally every cuss word under the fucking sun, yelling at every single person complicit in the sham that this is. Because this is a sham. And honestly, this is turning into another one of those Tobuscus situations where it's the beginning of something terrible. And I have a bad feeling this is going to turn to a bad way come 2019, because a lot of people with the Tobuscus thing just jumped out at Tobuscus with no evidence. And we're like, oh, hey, we should, totally convict this, totally say that this dude should be convicted based on absolutely nothing but a couple of text messages that were extremely vague. And in this case, there's a lot of evidence that's extremely vague and has nothing else to really support it. And it's just ridiculous that so many people accept it as fact, when the fact is, it wasn't really brought up like that. It's not working that way. There's no real particular piece of evidence that can convict Brett Kavanaugh of any of this. And I got into an argument today with a couple of my friends over this shit. I know they're coming from good places. You'd want to believe the rape victim as a default. But when there's no evidence, you have to talk about the credibility of not only the lady involved, but the people, you know, supposedly in favor of her, who are most certainly messing with things behind the scenes and fucking with things so much that makes you wonder, is there even any due process in this country anymore? Because you can get your entire life fucking ruined by an allegation now. It just makes me sad. I'm extremely disappointed in the Republicans who are not going to vote for Kavanaugh based on this shit. Because honestly, there's no way he shouldn't be voted in now. Top that off, I am already of the opinion that these Senate Judiciary Committee hearings are complete and utter garbage. God damn it. I'm going to do another video on this one soon, because there's still some things I want to say. But I'm just going to leave you guys off with this one. If someone's coming at you with false sexual assault claims, like they're saying you're the perpetrator, don't hold any bars back when you know it's bullshit. And if you are a sexual assaulter, you're an asshole. I can't believe that deserves any explanation at all, because sometimes it does. Though I am going to say to Jen Brown, because you have been by far one of the worst people on this issue, along with Ann Holm and Lawrence O'Donnell. Women are people, of course. Stop insinuating that a majority of people that you have talked to on Twitter and gotten into debates with say that women aren't people. Stop doing that shit. There are fringe people who say that, sure. Everywhere there is a fringe. But are you fucking insinuating that people who are defending Brett Kavanaugh don't think women are human? Despite the fact that there are millions of women out there who defended Judge Kavanaugh and still do today. Women and men can be, they should not be separated by this tribal nonsense on gender and race and all this crap. This is the epitome of the gender wars. If this is what happened, if this is what's happening right now, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I do not want to see what is going to happen in 2020 if Democrats win not only the presidency, but the House and the Senate. Because they will be passing so much of the bullshit legislation on terms of sexual assault. People might as well just pull a John and Sarah Connor and just drop off the face of the fucking earth. Just go off the fucking grid. So like I said, I'll make another one on this later. And, fuck. I'll talk to you later. Don't die.